Coming up on Theater Talk.
I think Michael should sing.
Join us.
Leave your fields to flower.
Join us.
Da, 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 da. Join
We've got
us.
magic to do.
Theater Talk is made possible in part by the CUNY TV Foundation. From New York City, where Broadway is revving up for the Tony Awards.
Oh,
this is
my God.
Theater Talk.
So exciting. Can't wait.
I'm Susan Haskins.
And I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post.
So, Michael, here we are, Tony predictions time.
Yeah, we can't wait. We love the Tony Awards. What a classy show they put on CBS. And we're here to predict the Tonys for you tonight with our mildly distinguished panel of old hacks. We are joined by Patrick Pacheco of... Where the hell are you writing for now, Patrick?
LA Times in New York 1.
New York 1, our competitor. You're very lucky. You've been grandfathered into Theater Talk all these years.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Michael Musto has been knocking around this town for how many years now, Michael?
We've got magic to do just for you. So join us, viewers. VillageVoice.com, many years.
From the Village Voice, many years. And Jesse Green, who has graduated from feature writer with a knife, destroying people like our poor old friend Arthur Lawrence, to...
How many times can I kill him?
Not enough. To now the drama critic. You're the sort of temporary drama critic of New York Magazine.
Yes, but that'll be all over just as soon as everyone would like it to be.
Right. Well, you're kind of a gentle drama critic, though. You're not exactly putting the knife in as a drama critic.
Did you read my review of Motown? Did you read my Did you read my review of Jekyll and Hyde?
Clearly
Well,
not.
all right, so let me ask you this. You're quite close and friendly with a lot of Broadway people. They admire your writing. You've interviewed them many times. Do you only put the knife into people in shows that you've never had any relationship with at all?
The people who wouldn't sleep with me. That's fair.
That's true. So
Very Gordy, you missed such an opportunity.
Michael Jackson never...
Constantine Maroulis, look what you missed.
Turns out I don't know as many people as I thought I did. I only recused myself from one review.
Which was?
Kinky Boots, because I was doing a feature on Harvey Fierstein at the same time. It might have looked a little fun.
Although from what I hear, Cyndi Lauper's hated you for years.
Yes, well, so I should have written about it.
Exactly. All right, so let us get right to the exciting categories this season. Susan, you want to tell us the nominees for Best Play?
Yes, the nominees for Best Play. The Assembled Parties by Richard Greenberg.
Amen.
Lucky Guy by Nora Ephron.
Ephraim.
Thank you. We'll take that again.
Nora Ephron Zimbalist Jr.
Junior.
Keep that.
No.
Yes. See,
Let her rest.
Susan, I tell you, every time somebody gets a good joke off, and at Susan's expense, she cuts it out.
Lucky Guy by Nora Ephron.
He just grunts. That's what Breslin does.
The Testament of Mary by Colm Tobin.
None of whom were dressed as he was.
Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike by Christopher Durang.
And I'm only 41, possibly 42.
Patrick, I must say, this is one of the weaker categories. I don't think the plays have been all that terrific this year. I think The Assembled Parties is overrated by Ben Brantley of the New York Times. Lucky Guy is a nostalgic piece, but not the greatest play in the world by Nora Ephron. The Testament of Mary, well, that closed after 1 week.
And I love The Testament of Mary.
Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike, I haven't seen yet, so I have no opinion on it. Where do you think this is going to go, Patrick?
Well, I disagree with you. I think it's a pretty strong list. I think that Assembles Parties was really rich writing, maybe overstuffed a little bit. I thought Lucky Guy was fascinating, mainly for its
The old newspaper
performance.
world it evokes.
Yeah, that it evoked, and I thought George Wolfe did a fantastic job of it. And Testament of Mary, probably better read than actually on stage. The Buzzard was great. I think the Tony's going to go, and well-deservedly, to Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. It's funny, it's moving, it's got terrific performances, beautifully directed by Nicky Martin, and he's really paid his dues, Christopher Durang. He's
been away for a
taken
long
a lot
time.
of lumps for a lot of years, and this is his finest
You make
work.
him sound like Dolly. Hello, Dolly. Like, welcome back to the lights of 14th Street.
Who do you think is going to be?
Well, I suppose that that's right, that Durang will win. I apparently liked The Assembled Parties because I gave it a rave review.
I didn't understand it.
Well, that's because you're friends
My
with
review,
Richard
you didn't
Greenberg.
No,
understand?
I didn't understand. I didn't understand The Assembled Parties. I mean, people went mad over it, and then I kind of didn't get it.
Maybe you have to be Jewish. I don't know.
The Jews are all turncoats. Republican Jews. What is that? It's like skinny fat people.
In any case, I think there's enough sentiment along the lines of what you're saying that, and enough sentiment in favor of Durang, who really has been around and for a very long time plying his craft, that it will probably go that way.
Michael?
Agree. Total slam dunk for Vanya, Carol, Ted, and Alice, whatever it's called. This is Christopher Durang's Chekhovian riff, but it has a life-affirming twist to it. The characters actually have hope at the end, not to give it away.
But is it going to
No
win because it's
resemblance.
good, or is it going to win because we say there's a lot of
It's
sentiment?
really good. And
It's
people say
great.
a comedy can't win. Comedies have won, and this is not just a comedy. Like I say, it's a Chekhovian riff, and it has pathos and heart and soul.
And the people are great.
No shot for Nora Ephron?
Wildly-
I
I actually thought all the plays were pretty strong, and even some that didn't make it into the category. So I completely
Like the Nance.
like the Nance.
Yeah, pansies, Chauncey.
All right, so it's Vanya, Sonia, Carol, Ted, Alice, for all three of you, right?
Yes.
Susan, no one cares what you think.
I think that Vanya Sonia will also win. To my two fans out there, okay.
All right, best musical. Susan, the nominees are...
Best musical, Bring It On, the musical. A Christmas Story, the musical. Kinky Boots. Matilda, the musical.
I love this. They think we're all so stupid that they have to tell us.
Wait, is Kinky Boots not a musical? It doesn't say so. It must not be one.
All right, Michael, are you partial to Kinky Boots here?
I like any drag show, but, but
you're a fan of
Matilda's
theater talk.
a drag show too. Bertie Carvel plays the female teacher. I think the viewers might, this is a show with viewers, right? Is it? No, the voters might get confused by the three musicals. They'll swirl and they'll
They
go.
cancel each other out because they're
Kinky
all called
Boots is the winner,
musicals.
but no, I think obviously it's a slam dunk for Matilda.
Yeah, which
Which I think is a bit overrated. To me, it was an assault. It was
I
just
don't
like
think
a
it
lot of weirdness that was very scary to me.
You disagree,
I
Justin?
disagree. I think it was a very good show, and but I think it's one of those head versus heart kind of decisions that the voters are going to be facing between the Broadway style feel good drag people finding themselves kind of
Transvestites
show.
are people too show.
Well, it isn't quite that, but versus a headier, cleverer, perhaps clever experience.
Bring it on.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, versus the one where girls in their panties are thrown upside down all over the place.
And where is Scandalous? Where is Scandalous? Huh?
That's right. Patrick, what do you think?
I agree with Jesse. I think Kinky Boots may well take this, even though Matilda is by far a much high wire act than Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots is very easy. It's kind of like that, very enjoyable, oh, that was fun, now where are we going to have dinner? As opposed to Matilda. And Matilda has this sense of being dark and disturbing.
Grotesque.
Grim, on some ways. It's dull. And what they were able to achieve, I thought, was masterful.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
All right, I'm going to press you for a prediction, though.
I actually think Kinky Boots will win.
What do you think it's going to be?
Matilda, which, despite what I said, is an original, audacious vision and really is an assault, but it's quite something to behold.
Patrick?
I think if the press were still voting in the numbers that they used to vote, it would be Matilda, no question. I think because they're not, it's going to be Kinky Boots.
Susan?
Very close, I think Matilda.
Yeah, I think Matilda, I like Kinky Boots a lot, but I think Matilda is a little more ambitious. And I also think that, again, we talk about the road voters, but shows
Yes.
that people are going to take on the road, and I think that Matilda has a better shot of touring than Kinky Boots does.
Maybe.
Neither one, I think, is going to be a slam dunk on the road.
It's very
at all.
close.
But there's a good deal of support for Matilda, I think, from the road vote right now. So I would say Matilda. So it's a 3 for Matilda and 2 for Kinky Boots. Wrong, boys, wrong. All right. Well, actually, here's an area where I think Kinky Boots can win, and that's in Best Original Score. And
Yes.
the nominees are, Susan?
A Christmas Story, Hands on a Hard Body, Kinky Boots, and Matilda the musical.
Now, I think Tim Minchin's score for Matilda is terrific, but Cyndi Lauper wrote a fine score for Kinky Boots, and I think if the voters want to give Kinky Boots something, this is the area where they can recognize Kinky Boots. Patrick?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think it's kind of like that Welcome to Broadway, and she delivered in a big way. And it's kind of interesting that both Harvey Fierstein and Cyndi Lauper are like this interborough it couple of Broadway this season.
My God!
one
Interspecies. No, I adore them.
one from Queens, one from Brooklyn.
Yeah, which one's from Queens?
But she did a great job, really, and I think it's one of the strongest elements of the show.
I agree, and you know, the Matilda score is fascinating, but to me it was a lot of torrents of words coming at you. I defy you to sing any of those songs. They're not going to be played at weddings. But the Cyndi Lauper score, but what Cyndi Lauper did, which a lot of songwriters who even write full-time for Broadway can't do, is write songs that worked in the story and for the character, and were diverse, and had poppy, current sounds, and were hummable, and sex is in the heel. That's a hot number.
History of the Wrong Guys.
Now, Jesse, I remember somebody told me years ago that you discouraged Cyndi Lauper from writing a musical about her life.
No, she discouraged me from writing a show about her life.
Well, she approached you to do a show about her life at one point, didn't she?
How did you hear about this, Michael
In the green room before we came on. But have you forgiven her since she did not make you her writing partner way back in those days? Do you think her score is good?
Yes, I think she'll win. Is that good enough for forgiveness?
Did you like her score, though?
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
And you think it'll beat Matilda?
I do, but not because it's better or not. I mean, none of this is really about better, is it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
voters vote.
There are winners and losers. Welcome to Broadway.
Yes, there's about winning and losing, but that isn't the same as better and worse.
She's a rock and roll icon who's beloved, and that's why I think
After-school specials from this one.
No, but well, you're the one who says you are not excited at all about the Tonys. One of the reasons is because everybody just goes in and picks what they liked. Everything is generally at a fairly high level. Honest to God, I know we make fun of the terrible Jekyll and Hydes that sometimes creep up out of the sidewalk like weeds. But for the most part, by the time they get this far, they're going to be pretty technically savvy, pretty well vetted, and beautifully performed. Everything's at a pretty high level. Or another way to look at it is everything's terrible. But whichever way you look at it, it doesn't mean that it's better just because it's like
Motown?
Well, Motown is another weed creeping up
Motown
the sidewalk.
has wonderful music.
Well, it's a lucrative weed, okay?
Oh, Motown. Did you know that, Michael? That Motown. There was good music in Motown. Did you know
Some
that?
pretty damn good songs. I kept waiting for the cruise ship to dock somewhere.
It's 57.
All right, so I'll begin. So you think score is going to be
Cyndi Lauper.
Kinky Boots?
Cyndi Lauper, Kinky Boots.
Same.
I'm going to go with Kinky Boots.
Yeah.
Kinky Boots. And we should just say quickly, I think book of a musical will go to Matilda, though. Dennis Kelly, who wrote a good adaptation of the Raoul Dahl.
Yeah, amazing job, really.
All right, lead actor in a play. The nominees, Susan, are?
Tom Hanks, Lucky Guy. Nathan Lane, The Nance. Tracy Letts, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. David Hyde Pierce, Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Tom Sturridge, Orphans.
It's a strong category, Michael, but I think Tom Hanks is the favorite right now.
I agree. I actually think Tracy Letts was superb, obviously, but that show closed, and that part, George and Virginia Woolf, won for Bill Irwin last time around.
Right.
Tom Hanks is wonderful and did not do a cliche one-man show kind of project where he just sits there.
And kind of elevated the material a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and plays a complicated character. Mike McAlery, the columnist for different tabloids, who was an attention getter, and yet he did have a conscience, and sometimes he didn't.
I thought Hanks was very, had great magnetism. I didn't sense this rapacious reporter that McAlery would have been. There wasn't bile roiling beneath the surface, which...
Rita wasn't available.
Well, exactly. You don't know what that kind of competitive columnist would be like, and Tom Hanks did not bring a negative complex.
But you know what? It's also going to be
character.
a moment to acknowledge Nora Ephron, who wrote the play and who passed on. And they want the Tonys to, in some way, be a love fest for Nora Ephron, even though she wasn't necessarily a theater person.
Right. And as you say, Letts is out of town. He would give Hanks a run for his money.
And let's not forget, though, Jesse, that Tom Hanks is a major movie star on
Yeah.
Broadway every now and
That
then, likes to
doesn't
have
hurt.
them swing by.
Yeah, and who did a good job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it isn't so often we get the opportunity to give that an award. I mean, there were several other movie stars who came in this year and didn't even get nominated. Some of them rightly so, some of them maybe not so rightly so, as we'll discuss in another category.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a slam dunk for Tom Hanks, though.
Who
And I think his lead competition is Nathan Lane. There's a lot of affection out there for that performance, and it's a great one. I think it's one of the most complex that he's done in years.
And David Hyde Pierce was excellent in Vanya. It's a very strong.
It's a very strong
category.
But they both won before. They've won.
Yeah, I would say Nathan Lane's very popular on here. He's won before, and in all likelihood, he will probably have many more shots at getting a Tony Award. So I would have to go with Tom Hanks. So Tom Hanks?
I think so.
Tom Hanks. You're going to say Nathan Lane?
I think Nathan Lane.
Susan?
Hanks.
Hanks. All right. Lead actress in a play. I think, well, give us the category, the
Okay.
nominees, Susan.
Lead actress in a play. Laurie Metcalf, The Other Place. Amy Morton, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Christine Nielsen, Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Holland Taylor, Anne, and Cicely Tyson, The Trip to Bountiful.
Jesse, the oversight here was Bette Midler, who got terrific reviews as Sue Mengers in I'll Eat You Last, and that was kind of a surprise that she was not nominated.
And some people also felt that, although you are not among them, that Fiona Shaw was left out inappropriately. It was a very strong year for leading actress performances.
Who would you have replaced in this list to put in
Katie Holmes.
or Fiona Shaw?
No,
Of the nominees,
Scarlett Johansson.
Who would you have replaced? To
well,
put in?
that's what makes it so
Bette Midler or
possible.
Fiona Shaw?
No, that's what I
they were all excellent,
Well,
and there were other excellent.
Jessica Hector was also squeezed out for assembled parties, but I must say about Bette Midler, she's a lot of fun. She's Bette Midler, but the play itself is a little lame with bad jokes, and to me came off like an old cabaret act. I thought the audience should be sitting there in towels.
But I think
so
for that reason, she deserves, because again, she elevated
the
play.
material.
Yeah.
She
She
really
did,
elevated the
she did,
material.
but it was such a tight category. I think Cicely Tyson's going to win. Roll tape. I said right here on this show before they even started rehearsals. I'm like,
Yes, you did.
Cicely
Yes,
Tyson's
you
going to
did.
win.
Why? Because she's old? She's 88?
Well, every day it gets older when you read the paper. She's up to 148 now.
We can get her age right.
You know? She keeps
All right, so Cicely Tyson.
but she gives a beautiful performance.
in the trip, yeah. Cicely Tyson, you
Cicely Tyson.
Well, I think she will win. I would have preferred one of the other actresses, but
Which one?
Who? Which one?
or one of the ones not nominated.
Who would you vote for in this category? Oh, well, why? Because
Laurie
all your
Metcalf.
friends, you don't want to
Laurie
upset
Metcalf.
I
anyone?
said Laurie Metcalf. I would have voted for.
Yeah,
That
but
was the
it's-
best performance I.
she's a
I
very
think I
strong
saw.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You know, I'm gonna go out on my own particular limb here, and I'm gonna predict Christine Nielsen.
You've had 5 marriages. They failed, but you had them. My relationships with men have been limited to, here's your change, ma'am, at the supermarket.
She may be the surprise here and upset the apple cart, because I just hear around town people really are impressed with
Well,
her.
she is very good in it.
She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Susan, you say?
Christine Nielsen is lovely. She was on this show. I adore her. I think Cicely Tyson, I think, will win it because she's 80. She's 148.
Right. All right, lead actor in a musical.
Lead
The
actor in
nominees
a
are
musical: Bertie Carvel, Matilda; Santino Fontana, Cinderella; Rob McClure, Chaplin; Billy Porter, Kinky Boots; Stark Sands, Kinky Boots.
I don't think there's any doubt here. Bertie Carvel is very. Is it Carvel or Carvel?
Carvel.
Carvel.
Bertie Carvel.
When I hear that name, I keep thinking like Cookie Puss or Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the Whale.
It's true, I think too.
But Fudgy the Whale, who was Santa Claus turned upside down, if you recall. It was-
That was a big scandal.
The Bertie Carvel and the Trunchbull ice cream cake for birthday parties. But I think this is pretty easy. Bertie Carvel gives a terrific performance as the villain as Trunchbull in Matilda. I think he's got it. Patrick?
I'm not sure. I think Billy Porter's the
I do too.
No, really.
Yeah, is
Kinky
probably.
Boots as the transvestite.
If Carvel
Yeah,
had
unless
been,
they split, unless Stark Sands and Billy Porter somehow split. I think that Billy Porter, again, somebody that's been around for a long time, paid his dues, and gives a knockout performance. In the
Michael?
lead.
I haven't seen this many drag queens battling it out since I went out last night. I think Bertie Carvel, because I mean it's an amazing characterization. He has like a hunchback and a hunch front, and he runs through the aisles. He almost knocked me over and killed me. And he has that pinched little face, and there's something so unique
He's great with his
and
hands,
remarkable
too.
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
little pincers.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
physical
pinch him.
transformation is amazing because when you look at him, he resembles nothing.
He looks
at
much
all.
younger
No.
too than
He's-
And also, is it really a leading role? I'm not so sure.
Well,
about
that's
that.
the problem. He is wonderful. It is not a leading role. This was another of those occasions where there was a change in the category placement, and
But that
Yeah, but
show
he's- but he's
wouldn't
in there,
work
so-
without him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work without him.
No,
Miss Hannigan was a leading role in Annie.
yeah, I'm not. These things do happen, but I'm not so sure that voters will agree that he gave the best leading performance.
Oh no, I don't think they split hairs the way you were doing.
Oh, all right.
Do you think it's going to be Billy Porter though?
I do.
I'll say Bertie Carvel.
Susan?
I agree with Patrick in that Stark Sands and Billy Porter will split the Kinky Boots vote, and it will go to Bertie.
Bertie Carvel, hands down, no problem. All right, lead actress in a musical. The nominees, Susan.
Lead actress in a musical: Stephanie J. Block, The Mystery of Edwin Drood; Carolee Carmelo, Scandalous;
They're scandalous, Michael. You were looking for scandalous and made it.
All right, where's Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Valencia LeKay, Motown; Patina Miller, Pippin; and Laura Osnes, Cinderella.
My vote would go for Valencia LeKay, Motown. She played Diana Ross, and I thought very, very effectively. Don't give me that look.
Wow.
And she has to
What,
lay
are
there.
you in the tank for Motown, Michael? Just
I
because you
love
sat behind
I
Berry
sat behind
Gordy,
Berry Gordy and Diana
Berry
Ross.
Gordy and Diana
Yes,
Ross.
yes.
You are so in the tank. I think she gave a perfectly fine performance. I think the fact that she's in Motown is going to sink her. I think it's going to be Patina Miller, because Pippin is so strong. I think it's going to win Best Revival. I think it's going to win a lot of other awards, and I think this will be one of them.
Michael?
Felicia was amazing, especially in the scene where Barry can't get it up, and she then has to incongruously go into a version of not touch me in the morning.
No,
I hear a symphony.
Yeah.
I hear a symphony.
And not you can't hurry love, which would have been more obvious. I guess this
Or
is
you
why,
should hurry love.
But this is why I think Motown is so skillful, because the obvious choice would have been, if you're with a guy who can't
Not
get it
to
up,
open it?
you can't hurry love. But they chose I Hear a Symphony instead, which I thought was very.
I think the other choice would have been Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Yeah, that's a good one. That would have.
But I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's going to be Laura Osnes for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
The musical.
Just in case you think it's Neil Simon's Cinderella. You got to spell that out in the title.
Jesse?
I think it'll probably be Laura Osnes as well.
Okay. Cindy? Susan, sorry.
Flo?
You know, I agree, Laura Osnes. Patina Miller is a strong contender, I think, in part because she was so great in Sister Act last year and was completely ignored with the Sutton Foster juggernaut that came down. But
And you think everyone remembers that?
no,
I don't even remember
nobody
that.
remembers that. Nobody.
I would only
Laura
say
Osnes.
the only criticism I hear about Patina Miller is that there's something mechanical about her performance, something inhuman about
Well, she's
her.
playing kind of an android-y character. She's the leading player. She's playing Ben Vereen. Hello.
Well, I know, but Ben Vereen did not play it without a soul. Ben Vereen played it with a real kind of sensuality.
And you think people remember that?
I think people were. That's a great performance. I didn't see it. I was.
No, it is.
bored. But all you have to do is look at the old YouTube clips of that great Bob Fosse commercial with Ben Vereen in it. You see.
I saw it, Sonny, and it was great.
Or we got 3 minutes left, so let's just.
Revival musical?
Let's get revival of a musical. Yes, the nominees are Annie, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Pippin, and Cinderella. This is an easy one, Patrick.
Pippin.
Michael?
I adored Pippin. I could see it 10 or 12 times. All right, 9 times. I mean, Diane Paulus, the director, invigorated it with this incredible circusy staging.
Bells and whistles.
That I usually hate, but I liked.
Yeah. Jesse?
Pippin.
Pippin. Susan? You hated Pippin.
Well,
You disliked it.
I didn't
intensely.
like Pippin. I thought I didn't hate it. I thought it's very infectious, but I don't think it's a strong show at the middle. And it sort of reminded me of the Twyla Tharp Bob Dylan musical meets sideshow. But there you go. And I'm not an acrobats
All right,
fan.
okay. Now let's
Pippin will win.
Best, I would say that, but by the way, the best entry in this category, though, I think is The Mystery of Edwin Drood. That
Yes.
was the best of all the
Yes.
revivals, but I agree that Pippin will win.
Mm-hmm.
Revival of a play, we have Golden Boy, Orphans, The Trip to Bountiful, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I think, Patrick, that Virginia Woolf might win this category, even though it closed in the fall.
It's a really strong entry. I think it's going to be Trip to Bountiful, actually.
Oh.
Although I think my favorite revival of this year was Golden Boy. I
Yeah.
thought Bart Sher did a fantastic job, and I thought a lot of the actors were brilliant and should have been.
And that, too, is closed. But
Yeah, I don't know what will win. I don't think it will be The Trip to Bountiful. It just is not that strong a revival, frankly, and I think people know that. There may be performances that they enjoy in it, or they may just enjoy seeing 148-year-old people perform. But I would think Golden Boy, if they're going for the best revival, and if they're going for the one they remember best, possibly Virginia Woolf.
I'll go with Virginia Woolf because everybody approached it like, oh, another Virginia Woolf, and then you sat there and you were riveted. It took your breath away.
Yeah.
right, right.
And I think people are going to remember that even though it's closed. I know last year they didn't go for Follies because it was closed. They went for Diane Paulus's Porgy and Bess.
Right, right.
This year I think they're actually going to stick to their, vote their hearts and go for Edward Albee.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Virginia Woolf. Susan, you think?
Yeah, it's very, very close. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to go with Golden Boy right now, but I could change my mind.
Before we go, and just because I want to put a plug in for my favorite show, Motown.
Motown.
It's interesting to me, though, the Tony Awards this year, I think there's going to be a big push to make Motown, because it is the biggest hit on Broadway of all the shows. It's outgrossing every nominee. There's going to be a big hit to make the Tonys big push, I should say, to make the Tonys about Motown. Is that fair, Patrick, or should it just be for the nominees?
No, it's fair. It's television, and if and you've got to put on the best show that's possible that shows Broadway in the best light as possible. Have no problem with them featuring Motown as long as they feature all the other ones.
If Diana or even the fake Diana can get Berry Gordy excited again, I don't see why Motown the musical can't get the Tonys
And are you even
to rise again.
And are you even going to bother with the Tonys this year?
I don't mind them featuring Motown on the show as long
you
as they
hate it
don't
so much?
feature any part of the actual show.
I know you guys aren't crazy about Motown. I would say they should open with something from Pippin. What might that be, Michael?
Wait, give me a second. Join us.
Leave your field to shower. Join us.
Leave your field to shower?
How is the lyric? Come and
Come and
waste an
spend an hour or two. Doodly-doo.
Doodly-doo.
On that note,
Okay.
Doodly-doo from Theater Talk.
Maybe Motown isn't
Doodly-doo,
so
everybody.
bad.
Doodly-doo.
Doodly-doo to Patrick Pacheco from the Los Angeles Times and New York One. Doodly-doo from Michael Musto of the Village Voice. And I hear a symphony from Jesse Green.
Our thanks to the Friends of Theater Talk for their significant contribution to this production. Theater Talk is made possible in part by the Frederick Loewe Foundation, the Eleanor Naylor Dana Charitable Trust, the Corey and Bob Donnelly Charitable Fund, the Noel Coward Foundation, Carrie J. Fries, the Dorothy Strelson Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and the New York State Council on the Arts, a state agency.
We welcome your questions or comments for Theater Talk. Thank you and good night.